that one. But, Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle really made me want not just to go to White Castle, or not even to go to White Castle, just to eat a White Castle burger. I didn't necessarily want to go to Guantanamo Bay when I heard their sequel was coming out. So I had some high hopes for this burger. Is what I'm trying to say.
Basically, it would sound to me that you have high hopes for this burger because you've heard of it.
High hopes for this burger, Sebastian. Just because classic logo, White Castle.
Should you be more excited because they've never bothered to update their logo?
I'm mostly excited because the logo is vintage.
Okay.
But also it's a castle, and it kind of reminds me of the time when castles were a thing.
Fair enough.
And I've always wanted to go to medieval times.
Okay.
And I feel like this is a stepping stone. This is the gateway burger, the gateway food to get to medieval times.
Now, think about this, Matthew. 1921 is when they started making this burger this way.
Okay.
Do you really expect a 20s burger to be really good?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Well, I don't expect it to be really bad. And I also imagine that with 90 plus years of experience, they could have made this burger a little better.
But I feel like that's not the point.
Don't change the logo, but make your burger.
I feel that the point is
better.
that they make their burger this way. It's always been this way. Through the roaring 20s and the dirty 30s, the whatever they called the 40s, 50s, and 60s, swinging 60s.
I feel like the swinging 60s. What came after?
Hippie 70s? I don't know. Disco 70s?
I don't know.
The cocaine 80s? The 90s, I think, are just the 90s.
Enough said.
Because back then they would say, hey, it's the 90s. Like, why are you being so stuck up, Mom? It's the 90s.
Yeah. Hold on a second. So these burgers were established in the 20s. 1920? 1921. When did World War I end? Were these war burgers? Were these burgers made out of desperation?
Of rations.
Yeah, because it feels like they came out of that time, and then they maybe continued through the Depression. And
but it was the roaring 20s. I want to say that the First World War, I might be pulling this number out of a hat. I want to say 1918, or maybe that's when it started.
Or 1911 to 1914, maybe.
Maybe.
That seems too early.
It is the roaring 20s, though.
Yeah.
And so that was a post-war time. So during the 20s, things were going well. People had money. Things were roaring.
Okay.
These burgers not roaring. These are steamed hams.
No, I feel like they became popular in the 30s, in the dirty 30s, when nobody could afford anything but this cheap little ash burger.
A very thin patty. Needs to be noted.
So thin that I thought maybe, sometimes when you're eating a burger and the patty falls out and you're left with a little bit of meat residue on the bun, you're never fooled. And you never think, oh, did the burger fall out or is this the burger? No, this is just a little bit of residue. The residue is the burger with the White Castle burger.
Just as a comparison, I feel like pate. I've spread thicker layers of pate on a piece of bread.
That's a much better analogy, yeah.
Than this beef, but comparable to a spread layer of creton or pate.
Yeah, just enough burger for you to not think that they forgot the burger.
You could taste the beef.
Yeah, you could taste it, but I mean...
But it was basically just enough to taste the beef.
Yeah.
The frozen, pre-cooked beef.
Yeah.
That is being reheated.
In strange methods.
Either by steam
methods.
or microwave.
Yeah.
Under what circumstances would you eat microwaved meat, Matthew?
The Depression.
They didn't have microwave ovens yet.
Well, then...
Or just personal depression. Like you're on a real low and you're like, I guess I'll just microwave some burgers.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at now.
One thing I've got that they didn't have in the 30s, microwaves. So things aren't that bad. And then I eat the box of 6 White Castle burgers to myself.
My answer is a burrito.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, okay. Even then.
A burrito.
Microwave burrito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a little breakfast burrito. You open one end, you put it in the microwave, same as this pair of White Castle burgers.
I guess I'm okay with reheating meat, but I would never want the primary method
You
of
are
cooking to
reheating it.
be.
It's been cooked.
So these White Castle burgers are already cooked?
They were cooked and frozen.
All right. Well, still didn't like them.
Matthew, you tell me earlier about something else you don't like.
Yeah, well, so many things.
People.
Yes. Primarily, I don't like people.
Now, I feel like that's a generalization that isn't entirely true. I feel like you don't necessarily not like people.
I find that I'm liking less and less people as I get older.
Go on.
It's just anything bothers me now. Like, I mean...
Are you becoming a young curmudgeon?
Yeah. No, I think so. I think that's a pretty good way to put it. It's things that shouldn't, I don't know, like most notably.
What's bothering you?
I was at a friend's place the other day, and someone wanted a glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
They got up. They went to the kitchen, and I followed them.
What?
Because I had an inclination.
Okay.
That something maddening was about to happen.
Okay.
And this character took out the Brita water filter,
Sure.
filled his glass with water, took ice cubes out of the freezer, put ice cubes into that water, and then put both items back in their respective places within the refrigerator without filling either one. They didn't replenish what they took, and that is grotesque to me. That's it's. I think if I were to define it, this is human decay, Sebastian.
So okay, people are like very disappointed with humanity for many reasons.
It's got to start somewhere.
Whether it be pollution reasons or just wars or the selfishness and not taking care of their fellow man. But your concern is replenishing an ice cube tray.
Yeah, it takes.
I need to ask some follow-up questions. Was the ice cube tray empty?
It wasn't empty, but it wasn't full. It was like halfway through, even then, it's like
refilling a not empty ice cube tray.
How do you put an ice cube tray back in the freezer without every little spot
Easily.
full?
If there's still ice cubes in it, it's going back in the freezer.
Ah.
Only when it's empty do I replenish an ice cube tray.
Now, I can understand that because maybe when you're trying to get an ice cube out and you see there's 2 good ones left, but all the rest are water and you're trying to
can't get them out.
But, I mean, I think you got to use a little bit of common sense where you think, when's the next time someone's going to want ice? Is it going to be soon?
Here's another follow-up question. Yeah. Maybe this is me living in my own world.
Okay.
But I've always lived in a home of 2 ice cube trays.
Okay.
One can be water, the other is ice. You're never really out of ice, unless you're using a lot of ice.
Yeah. Okay. But have you been living alone?
Yes.
Because you know yourself.
Even living with my folks, or when I had 2 roommates, 2 ice cube trays. One is ice, the other is emptying and then becoming water once it's empty. Yeah. Not becoming water, but you know what I mean, being refilled with water.
Yeah. I just think it's crazy because it takes seconds to fill an ice cube tray. Mm-hmm. It takes not seconds to get
for the water
ice
to freeze. Yeah, okay.
So it's I'm saying what, 5 hours? Depending on your freezer. Some people don't have great freezers. It could
I
take
keep
a
mine
day.
on low actually, but it won't take a day. But I keep mine on low.
But like just fill that ice cube tray. You got to live. You remember that story about the squirrel and
no.
What was it? Was it a squirrel that was very
the selfish squirrel,
relaxed in preparation
lazy
for
squirrel?
winter?
Okay, I don't know. Tale of the lazy squirrel.
Yeah, maybe it was some rodent.
Or I guess not lazy is the word. It's what's the word when you postpone something till the last minute? People often say it for schoolwork.
Procrastination.
Yes, the procrastinating pack rat. I don't know. What's a pachyderm? What's a
pachyderm?
What's a rodent that starts with a P?
A possum.
Okay. The postponing possum.
The procrastinating possum.
Procrastinating possum.
Okay, so I think the moral of that story, there were two filthy little rodents. One of them was just having a great time. It was playing, soaking up the sun,
Sure.
lying on the grass, while the other one was constantly working, just getting everything ready for the winter. And then, early frost, one of those rodents is going to die because it doesn't have the stuff ready for the winter. But then the other one comes to its aid, says, here, I gathered so much stuff, so many sweet nuts, so many little bits, so
Sure.
whatever squirrels eat.
Yeah. I think mostly nuts and stuff.
Yeah. I'm sure they're not going to spit a bug out if it crawls in their mouth.
Oh.
That I've collected so much extra wealth that here you can have some as well so you don't die. And I think the people who don't replace ice cubes and the people who don't fill up Brita filters are this lazy, fun-loving squirrel. I think they took the wrong part of the message. I think they think if we just have fun and don't do anything, someone else is going to pick up our slack.
Oh, no. Okay.
I don't want to
see.
be associated with monsters like this, Sebastian. I commented on it. I said, you're not going to refill that Brita? You're not going to put more water into those trays? And
Now-
it just shrugged it off.
I've got another follow-up question, Matthew. Was the Brita empty? So
So
it's one of these like water filters that fills up a little pitcher.
yeah. So the thing with the Brita filter is you can get, 5 cups out of
Yeah,
one of
not
those?
that much.
Because you
Depends
fill
on the
it
size
up,
of the glass,
and
sure.
it takes a while for it to
Doesn't take that long.
sift down and
Takes
then
like a
get
minute
rid
or
of
two.
all of the negative
Sure.
little pieces of water. I don't know what they're actually getting rid of.
They filter out quite a bit. I've seen
Yeah.
videos of them filtering a Mountain Dew into water-looking stuff.
Yeah, but that's only
Doesn't
when you,
taste like water, but
that's
takes out
only
all the color.
when you first get your Brita filter, right? Because have you ever changed the filter?
yes.
Oh, I've never done that
Oh. Why
Some-
are you even using the filter?
because it's cold.
You
Well,
could
I
just
mean-
use a bowl.
It's true. It doesn't look as nice when guests come over.
I
A
suppose.
bowl.
I'm-
It's a big bowl of water in the fridge. I could just use the Brita and take the filter out. Yeah, but so that's
yeah, you're
even-
supposed to change that thing like every 3 months, Matthew.
Yeah, I know.
And I change mine every maybe 6 months because I feel like I'm just one person living alone. How much water am I really filtering?
That's true. You're using your head. Unlike the people who do not refill this Brita filter, because not only is it taking time, it's also a matter of it's a matter of time. It's a matter of how cold is this water going to get. Somebody wants some Brita, and it's like, oh no, there's not enough for a cup. And then that person who went before them just says, oh, go fill it up now. Don't worry, it'll filter in mere seconds, but it won't get cold.
Well,
in
Matthew,
mere seconds.
How about this? You're making me feel like a real fun-loving squirrel because I do not refill my Brita water filter until I want more water. The thing will often get empty, and I'll pour out the last bit of it to make half a glass of water, and I'm fine with that. And
Oh my.
I never refill my ice cube tray until it's completely empty, and then I usually have extra ice in the other ice cube tray. It's always a one frozen, one in the process of being emptied or freezing ice cube tray system. You know what I do when I want that Brita water to be very cold?
What?
Fill the top with ice cubes, pour the water in. And then
Now-
what's going to happen to the rest of those ice cubes? They'll melt down, keep becoming Brita filtered water.
I'm just waiting for you to encounter the perfect storm of your laziness, Sebastian, where you have very little water left in the Brita filter, and then you go to fill it up with ice cubes, but oh no ice cubes left. Maybe just one, maybe just half of one.
I'll deal with it.
See, I'm the kind of person, I'll go to someone's
I'd
house.
put the one ice cube in there.
I'll go to someone's house, and I will, if I'm around their fridge, I'll look inside. I'll look inside the freezer. And if they have ice cube trays that aren't filled, I'll fill them up and put them back in. I'm like a little elf.
The ice elf?
The little ice elf. And I remember I did this once to Dane.
Uh-huh. Former guest of the show.
Yes. Yeah, sorry for all those new listeners, because we were starting over.
No.
Dane, he is one of the old guests. I filled up his ice cube tray, and I think weeks later he commented, somebody was over, and somebody filled up my ice cube tray. And to me, I'm still thinking, this is crazy. You knew your ice cube tray was running low, and you were having people over, and you didn't fill it up beforehand? Nonsense. It's crazy.
I doubt if you refilled my ice cube tray I would not notice.
Yeah, because
I
you're
would just be like, yeah, I guess I filled it up.
because you're sunbathing, you're eating bugs, you're doing whatever you do, and and meanwhile I'm doing all the hard work.